Why Southerners do weird stuff. Here's another guy writing in. Hey, Billiam of the Crimson Sack. I like that. That's, if I knew what my family crest was, I might have that written in Latin underneath it. Been listening to your podcast for a few years now. First time writing in. Love your stand-up and your podcast. Keep up the great work. I was listening to your podcast from last week, November 1st, 2021. And heard you wondering about why people from the South do stuff like fly rebel flags and other stuff that seems stupid and or outdated. I'm going to stop short of saying stupid because I don't want to be like, I don't remember how bad I did in high school. So I would just say, the lack of empathy. Dare I say the pride and kind of going out of your way, to hurt other people. Is what I find confusing, but then again, I have a crushing need to be liked. So, anyway, I'm from North Carolina, go Tar Heels. And I see things like the rebel flag pretty regularly. The attitude generally doesn't seem to be one of hatred towards a certain people or anything, but usually one of regional pride, parentheses, love must spread. I do think that there is an element of spite involved in a we're still here kind of way, but it seems more defiant than anything. As for the attitudes of people from other parts of the country towards us Southerners, meaning northern whites, people on the coasts, it's rarely ever a positive one. No, I used to do a bit in my act, something you're going to touch upon here, I can see in the next sentence here. I'll read your shit first and I'll do my bit. I have a degree in electrical engineering and have kept my accent since moving out of the South, but I get funny looks from time to time, or even straight up told my accent sounds uneducated. Yeah, think how fucked up that is. Mark Twain was a Southerner, right? There's a bunch of super smart fucking Southerners, but I'm too stupid to remember all of them. But I used to do a bit in my act saying, like, if Albert Einstein had a Southern accent, no one would have listened to him. He would have been up there, and I pointed. I can't remember if I did this on my first half hour. Be pointing at the board going, A equals MC squared. And people, shut up, you fucking moron. Come on, man, I'm serious. This fucking shit works. Something like that. But that is true. There's a prejudice against your accent. Sometimes it's a bit more subtle where people will say something like, wow, I didn't expect you to know so much. As if I didn't spend 8 fucking years in college. Yeah, that's what I loved about the late, great Vic Henley. Vic Henley kept his accent and was a super smart guy with, being a super smart guy, he had really smart material. And I used to love watching him killing in New York City. And he never really addressed, at least all the years I watched him, he never said like, I don't really remember. He just sort of talked about life and would crush. Anyway, now, granted, we're easy to make jokes out of, and we're one of the few groups of people left that it's considered safe to make fun of or mock just for the circumstances of their birth. So I can't fault people for hanging on to that. But it does foster a bit of resentment, especially when you see people act like there's not other parts of the country just as ignorant, if not more so than the South. Well, hey, I've been to them all, and I can definitely tell you that the East Coast meathead, myself being one, could give you Southerners a run for their money. Yeah, I just went to a football game today. I saw a lot of great people, saw a lot of animals. I mean, you go to a sporting events, the fucking animals come out. There's one for you. I think just in general, if people, like, we're just going in this really bad direction of egos and name calling. And if people could just sort of fucking relax a little bit and just step back and kind of, we could go back to maybe a little common decency. But then, that doesn't even make sense because there was, air quote, common decency decades ago, I feel. But like a lot of other shit was worse. So I don't know. I don't know what the solution is. When's Jesus going to be done with that nap? I mean, when exactly how bad does it have to get before he comes back and is like, oh, Jesus, have to come back down there, fucking settle things down. Is that what he's going to do? He's like, settle things down? You know? Like shit's getting out of control in this squared circle and he's going to come running out of the locker room like a fucking wrestler? Is that what's going to happen?